Breaking news from the Arizona Diamondbacks that a new opening day starter has been decided after Merrill Kelly went down with a back injury, and it is, unsurprisingly, for his fourth consecutive season, Zac Gallen.
You are Locked On Diamondbacks, your daily Arizona Diamondbacks podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up and welcome to the Locked On Diamondbacks podcast, the show where we talk nothing but the D-backs every single day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. I'm your lifelong D-backs fan and overly obsessed host, Daynen Biggs. This episode is brought to you by MLB The Show 26. Visit MLBThe.show/LockedOn and use code LOCKEDON to unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Pre-order now, available March 17th on PlayStation 5, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. Rated E for everyone. We are going to be talking about the big news. Zac Gallen has been named as the opening day starter. Not a huge surprise after Merrill Kelly is unable to do so because of injury. We're also going to be talking about Corbin Carroll's first game that he played yesterday against the A's. And then we're going to finish the episode talking about that game and why we lost so bad and kind of breaking that down a little bit, because there are some things that I am not worried about. There's some things that I kind of am worried about, and we'll get into all of that. But first, let's talk about Zac Gallen. Now, Zac Gallen, it's pretty easy to kind of point and say, well, Zac Gallen didn't do very well last year. So why not Ryan Nelson? Why not anybody else, And because if you look, his ERA was 4.83 with a record of 13 to 15 losses to 13 wins. So are we sure? Well, yeah, I think so, because opening day one, a big part of opening day being the opening day starter is experience is a big part of it. Zac Gallen has the experience. Merrill Kelly has the experience. Ryan Nelson, Brandon Pfaadt, they just don't have it yet. I do think that Ryan Nelson will be an opening day pitcher at some point, but I don't think it's this year. It could be next year, depending on how well he does and depending on how well Corbin Burns does and everything like that. But this year, I think Zac Gallen is the right choice. I as soon as Merrill Kelly went down and we knew that he wasn't going to be starting anymore for opening day, I kind of immediately knew, and I think you did too, most of us knew, that it's going to be Zac Gallen. I think that's just the correct choice. But I wanted to quickly look at his 2025 numbers over on baseballalmanac.com, because they actually break it down by the game and by the month, because we all know that Zac Gallen did better in the second half of the season than he did in the first half of the season. But what were the exact numbers? How exactly did he do? So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. In March, the first month of the year, he pitched a 5.08 ERA. He averaged, well, I guess I don't really have average. Most of these starts, he went 6 innings, 5 innings. He had a few where he didn't quite complete 5, and but that was the most. The least that he pitched was 4 2/3 innings. The most he pitched was 6 2/3 innings. He started the year against the Yankees going into the 7th and didn't give up a single run, only 3 hits. So he started out strong, but then he gave up 5 runs in less than 5 innings and just kind of went from there. His worst outing was probably that one against the Orioles. He also had one where it was 6 earned runs in 6 innings, so not super great, not a great start. 5.08 ERA, not very good. April, he had an ERA, a month ERA of 5.50. So it got even worse. His on average, he was still pitching about 6 innings. The least he pitched was 5. And then we had a handful of 5 2/3. We had a 6, and we had a 7 against the Mets, where he gave up only 1 earned run in 7 innings. So good outing there. He also gave up 1 earned run against the Mets earlier in that same month. in 6 innings. So 2 good outings there against the Mets. So I guess when we play the Mets, make sure Zac Gallen pitches. But he gave up, I think his worst outing was against the Rockies, at home, by the way, where he gave up 6 earned runs in 5 innings pitched. So not a good outing there. And he gave up 6 runs against the Pirates, 6 runs against the Rockies, 4 against the Cardinals, 4 against the Dodgers. So not a good month for him in April. May, it just kept getting worse. In May, he had his worst month of the season with an ERA of 6.23. Not very good. And he's facing the 2 of those appearances were against the Rockies and the White Sox, and both of those just so happen to also be his worst outings. He, in 5 innings, gave up 7 runs against the Rockies. And then his next appearance gave up 5 runs in 5 innings to the White Sox, both at home, by the way. So struggled big time in May, couldn't really catch a break. And his best outing, he gave up 1 run in 7 innings against the Braves, and that was in Atlanta. So I guess, he just pitches better on the road, apparently, though. I don't know, not really, at least in these first couple of months. But yeah, March, rough. April, even rougher. May, horrible. June, better. It basically matched his March ERA in June. He had a 5.10 ERA. So just a little bit higher than in March. In June, he pitched, by the way, in all of these, he pitches 5 to 6. He pitched 6 outings in April, and the other ones he's pitched 5. In June, his best outing was he pitched 6 innings against the Padres in San Diego, where he gave up 0 runs. So not too bad there. He gave up 1 run, 0 earned runs, I should say. And then he also had one against the Giants at home this time, where he only gave up 1 run in 7 innings. So a pretty good outing there. Honestly, started the month off pretty well, but then he gave up 6 earned runs in 5 innings against the Angels. He gave up 6 earned runs in 6 innings against the Astros, and then 4 earned runs in 6 innings against the Pirates. Not very good. A little bit better, not by much. Now, in July, we had the trade deadline. This is where things started to turn around, because as soon as July came around, he gives up 2 earned runs in 6 innings against the A's, 1 earned run in 6 innings against the Rockies, so gets retribution there. His worst outing was his next outing against the Rangers, where he gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. That was his worst in July. And then his best outing in July was against the Dodgers, where he gave up 0 runs, 2 hits in 6 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts. Very impressive very impressive month of July for Zac Gallen. He threw an ERA of 2.57. So phenomenal month of July after a rough first 4 months. And then in the month of August, am I mixing stuff up? Oh, I'm reading this graph wrong. My apologies. I've been 1 month behind. So April was 5.8, May was 5.5, June was 6.23, July was 5.10. This graph is very confusing. I'm sorry. And then August was his really good season. Was his really good year. Or his really good month. Sorry. And now I'm all scatterbrained now. So the month of August, he had a 2.57. Absolutely great. And that makes sense because it's after the trade deadline. And then the month of September, he regressed a little bit. He had his best game was against the Rangers, where he gave up 0 runs in 6 innings. The next game, he gave up 5 and 6.2 against the Giants. So not good, not great there. But then against the Giants, the next game, this is by the time this was going on, I was hosting the show. So very fun. I remember all this. remember reporting on all this. He gave up 1 run in 6 innings against the Giants after that, and then 3 runs in 7 innings against the Phillies. It's a pretty good outing there. The reason that his ERA is where it is, he ended the month with a 4.20, is because his very last start against the Padres, he got blown up, gave up 5 runs in 4 1/3 innings, which kind of tanked his monthly ERA there. But I did do the calculations. If you take that last start out, which I know you shouldn't do that, but if you remove that last start, we had just got, we're getting eliminated. It's rough. You remove that, his September ERA goes to 3.16, which is very acceptable and a lot closer to his August number, or his August numbers. So the month of August and September, Zac Gallen was pitching really, really well. So if that's what we can expect from Zac Gallen moving into the 2026 season, then he's our guy. And also, he shut out the Dodgers. He didn't shut out the Dodgers. He got the win against the Dodgers, gave up 0 runs in 6 innings at Dodger Stadium. So I think he might be the guy to get the start at Dodger Stadium on opening day. Last time he played him, he did pretty darn good. So I don't hate those chances there. Also, Zac Gallen, since he's staying here, we kind of talked about this when his contract ended, but he has the 3rd most wins in Diamondback history at 65, and he has the 3rd most strikeouts at 1,017. Brandon Webb is second with 1,065. So there's a very good chance that Zac Gallen passes Brandon Webb and has the 2nd highest strikeout count in Diamondback history. Super exciting. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about Corbin Carroll, because he had his first appearance in a major league game in spring training after breaking his hand. How did that go? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. College basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. From early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts, there's always action on the board. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. You can build any college hoops parlay you want. Rivalry games, ranked matchups, whatever fits my read. You can mix spreads, totals, and player props to match how you see the slate playing out. Then you can apply the profit boost and instantly bump up your potential payout. Go safe, go bold, ride with the team you've been following all season. It's your parlay, your style. Now, just with more upside to it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. It's tax time, but for a lot of us, the old way of doing taxes is kind of a lot. Trying to book an appointment that's not the most convenient, sitting in a waiting room with stacks of papers, emailing back and forth, and wondering if they really get your situation. But this year, you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve, while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's the relief of walking in and meeting a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled right. Head to turbotax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment. All right, everybody, we're back. And I wanted to say, as always, thank you so much for making Locked On Diamondbacks your first listen of the day. I really appreciate it. Now that we're getting back into the regular schedule, I hope I can be a part of your regular schedule once again. So thank you so much for being here. Let me know, by the way, in the comments, where do you usually listen to the show? Do you listen? And I say comments, by the way, if you're just listening to this, the best way to leave a comment for me to see is to go to YouTube and leave a comment on this video, or quite frankly, any video, and you get it. So let me know in the comments of a YouTube video, yeah, where do you listen to the show? Do you listen to it in the car? Do you listen to it at work? Do you listen to it while you're in meetings and you're supposed to be paying attention? Let me know. I'd be really curious to hear that. And maybe I can cater it a little better to your situation. So I can be like, don't run that red light, and say things, that slow down. Don't hit people in the crosswalk, things to help you in your day. That's what I really want to do. Anyway, by the way, you guys, if you've been thinking about joining the Everydayer Club, now is the time, because you get ad-free shows, you get access to our group chat on Discord, which is super fun. But if you're signed up before the NCAA tournament tips off, I know this is a baseball podcast, but the NCAA tournament is coming up, and if you sign up before then, you get our Everydayer Club bracket, or you'll get access to our Everydayer Bracket Club pool on Discord for a chance to win Locked On merch. It should be a lot of fun, and you can use code MARCH, like the month, or the verb, I guess they're spelled the same, to get your first month free. So if you go to lockedondiamondbacks.supercast.com, or you can tap on the link in the show notes below, you can go sign up. It's super fun and it's free. That's awesome. So anyway, Corbin Carroll got his first start, and I was watching very closely and was kind of initially disappointed. He went 0 for 3. And so you'd be forgiven, as I hope I am forgiven, for being a bit bummed out that, nothing really happened. Wasn't surprised. I wasn't super crushed or anything. He's coming back, broke his hand. He's still dealing with that. He is healed from from what I've been able to gather, but there is still a good level of discomfort. It's not like he can break the bone again. They took the bone out, so it's not like that's going to be a problem. There shouldn't be any complications with the health or his hand or whatever, but it hurts a little bit right now. And so that's to be expected. But something that is very interesting to note is that in his first at bat, he grounded out to second. Not good, right? Well, he hit the ball with an exit velocity of 113.6 miles per hour. For reference, he only hit 2 baseballs in fair territory harder than that in 2025. So that's actually really crazy, because a big worry with this surgery, specifically this procedure, is that hitters tend to lose power when they recover, when they come into recovery. And so that was a big worry. And here he is, his first at bat, hits the 3rd hardest hit ball in the last year. So that doesn't seem like it's going to be much of a problem. It sounds like the problem really is going to be just he's getting the timing figured out again. He's getting just comfortable with that. The pain is there, but it's manageable. He said it felt fine. Obviously, it's not going to feel perfect, but manageable. I'm just trying to work through it as best as I can and be sure I'm ready to go. He specifically did not want to elaborate on what he was feeling. He said he didn't want to talk about it, but it's been 1 month to the day since his surgery, and he's already back. Remember, a 6-month waiting period is what that was supposed to be, and he's already back. So not too bad. He didn't wear a brace or anything like that when batting, but he did use an axe handle bat, which is basically just, it doesn't have a round knob at the bottom, because according to him, it was less painful. So he's using that. He's not sure if he's going to use that going forward or if he's just going to use it for a little while. He's not sure, but he's just taking it as time goes. Now, I think Corbin Carroll is hoping to play 10 games in spring training, which would be great, because I think he does need that. Just like every other player has needed the time to kind of warm up and get back into it, he's going to need that if he wants to go into the regular season looking good, feeling good, all that kind of stuff. He is probably going to be playing DH a few more times before he is ready to start playing defense, but he should be good. Because it is in his hand, his catching hand. And so that's just another element that I'm sure he's working on to try and get that um, going. They asked Zac Gallen about his return, though. He said he laughed and said, "I think he's just one of those guys that his presence in the lineup and on the field just makes sense. Sorry, just makes everybody that much better. Guys are excited he's back." So that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this game that Corbin Carroll played in, right? Because that's what happened, right? Let's talk about the game, even though we probably don't want to. But stay here, don't click away, don't swipe away. Even though the game didn't go exactly how we wanted, we have a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about. So don't go anywhere. Today, I'm thrilled to be talking to you about our sponsor, MLB The Show 26. The greatest game in baseball is back with its newest installment. Baseball fans are going to have a hard time pulling themselves away from the game. As a kid, obsessed with baseball, but who was never really all that good at it, MLB The Show has always been my personal outlet to experience the game like never before, to be able to insert myself in the show and experience the ups and downs of a professional baseball career with Road to the Show has been beyond enjoyable for me throughout the years. If you're a gamer, a baseball fan, or just want to enjoy America's favorite pastime in a new, exciting way, you are going to love MLB The Show 26. Play as your favorite team and franchise players and see if you have what it takes to win your own World Series. Visit MLBThe.show/lockedon and use code LOCKEDON to unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Internet connection required. Pre-order now. Available March 17th on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and Nintendo Switch. Rated E for everyone. Now, the Diamondbacks played the A's. Should be an easy win, right? On paper. No, it wasn't. The A's ended up going away with it, winning the game 13-3. Now, I know we've been saying, well, you know, we don't really worry about the opposing team's score because we throw out, you know, AA, AAA, non-roster invites out there and they give up a bunch of runs. There's not really anything we can do to control that. And it's not something that really affects the team overall. What we look at is the offensive numbers. The problem is, and I'm usually very optimistic. You know this. I try and spin everything in a positive way. And I will be doing a good amount of that tonight. Don't you worry. But the pitchers that gave up the runs were our major league pitchers. Not all of the runs, but our major league pitchers gave up a good number of those. And then our offense didn't really do anything. Not much, at least. So what happened exactly? Well, I'll tell you what happened. The Diamondbacks are currently a lot of their good players, a lot of their all-star players are currently playing in the World Baseball Classic. By the way, I saw the video I got the notification and saw the video that yesterday Ketel Marte crushed a home run for the Dominican Republic. And then I went and watched the video and realized that he hit it off of Eduardo Rodriguez, who was not happy to give that up. So kind of funny. Hopefully Eduardo Rodriguez takes that energy and, doesn't give up any more home runs. But it was pretty funny. Anyway, and then if they aren't playing in the World Baseball Classic, they've been injured. So we haven't had a lot of offensive production as of late. And then the other thing is that the A's were playing all of their starters. Like Kurtz was in, Langoliers was in, Soderstrom was here, Rooker, Muncy, Wilson. Like these guys were all playing and they played the majority of the game too. Like I think they had all but 2 at bats for the most part. So it's not like offensively, it was kind of stacked towards the A's. Now the A's, I think, are going to be a much better team this season than they were last season. So that's a little bit of consolidation as well. But another issue, though, and I can't really dance around this one too much, is that our pitchers, again, were our major league pitchers. Ryan Nelson got the start, pitched 3 1/3 innings. I don't know. Is that plural? 3.1 innings. He only gave up 2 hits and 1 walk, but he did also give up 3 earned runs with 2 different home runs. So not the best outing from Ryan Nelson. He did have 4 strikeouts, which was pretty good, but not his best outing for sure. Then we had a handful of other, minor league guys come in. We had Zane Russell come in and give up another home run. And then Isaiah Campbell came in, got 1 out. Sounds pretty good. And then we had, what was his first name? Thomas Hatch came in. Now, Thomas Hatch, he played 11 games out of the bullpen last season, had a 5.82 ERA. So he's kind of like trying to get a spot in the major league roster, but he did not earn that spot today. He pitched 2 innings, gave up 3 earned runs on 5 hits and a walk, and 2 of those 5 hits were home runs. So the A's were just crushing the ball. Ryan Thompson then came in. So Ryan Thompson, okay, major league pitcher. It's going to be like our, cornerstone of the bullpen. He comes in, he gives up 2 hits and 2 earned runs. Basically, he gave up, what was it? He gave up a double followed by a single followed by a wild pitch. So not a great outing from Ryan Thompson either. Kevin Ginkel came in, couldn't finish the inning. He technically didn't give up any earned runs, but he gave up 2 singles, and then he had a throwing error, which resulted in a run, and then a deflected ball he reached out, tried to field it, it deflected the ball, and resulted in a second RBI. So Kevin Ginkel didn't do super great either. And then Philip Abner came in, and thankfully he pitched a clean inning, got a strikeout, 0 hits, 0 runs. But yeah, not wonderful. Not wonderful from our guys that are supposed to be really good. I mean, really good. I guess not even really good, but just the argument I've been using all spring training has been, well, they're not major league pitchers, so they're going to give up runs against major league hitters, and that's fine. These are our major league pitchers, and they're giving up runs. The only thing that kind of softens this a little bit is that they were pitching against the A's major league lineup. So it's not like they were giving all these up against, double A, single A guys. They were giving these up to Muncy and Brent Rooker and Nick Kurtz and, all these guys. So that helps a little bit, but really, I mean, not much. They're going to be playing against major league players in the regular season, so they need to be able to do that. I wasn't able to watch the game physically, unfortunately, so I don't know exactly how, how they looked. But I can tell you that I can look at their pitch count. Ryan Nelson threw 56 pitches in 3.1 innings, 37 strikes. Russell came in, who gave up a home run and another hit. He threw 7 pitches, 7 strikes. So at least that's good. Hatch threw 38 pitches and 24 for strikes, but again, he gave up 3 earned runs. Thompson pitched 22 pitches in an inning, 17 for strikes. So at least like they're hitting the zone, I guess, but it sounds like they're just giving them cookies or something. I don't know. Ginkel, 24 pitches, 19 strikes, and then Abner, 20 pitches, 13 for strikes. So yeah, it's not wonderful, but again, the Diamondbacks are kind of playing, they're giving their minor league players their chance to shine. They're letting them show what they can do. And I think that will be good for them in the long run. That'll help build up that depth. And we're going to see a lot of these guys next season as major contenders. But the Diamondbacks really, I mean, it sounds bad to say it, but they're not really competing to win spring training games right now. because, their leadoff hitter is a guy who has a broken hand. Granted, it's Corbin Carroll, but he's batting with a broken hand. Ildemaro Vargas and Pavin Smith and Jorge Barrosa are the only other major league players that played for the D-backs. And Vargas went 2 for 3, hit a home run. Barrosa went 1 for 3, and Pavin Smith went 1 for 3. And other than that, there was one other guy who I did not recognize, Danny Soretti, who got a home run, actually. He scored the 3rd run, so good for him. But I think that was the only other hit. Nobody else got a hit. Soretti got his home run. Pavin Smith got a single. Jorge Barrosa got a single. Ildemaro Vargas had a single and a home run. That was it. So it's kind of frustrating when you get games in a row that are like this. But again, you look at who's missing and it starts to make sense. So that's just how it is. Obviously, you'd love it if the Diamondbacks had the kind of depth where they were just their AAA guys were competing with major league guys for sure. But yeah, that's just not where they're at right now. And it's a bummer, but that does not say that they're out that doesn't mean that they're out, for the count. So they still have a shot. They still have a chance. And I still am pretty optimistic about their 2026. So anyway, but let me know what you think. Is this a big red flag for you? Or do you see hopefully the way I see it is just, this is spring training. They're still just getting started. There are a lot of players that won't be playing. Momentum is a big deal. You see these pitchers giving up a bunch of runs. Would they be giving up that many runs if it was a closer game? I don't think they would be. So it's all just part of it. And it's a different game during spring training than it is during the regular season. So we really don't know. And if you look at the stats from spring training wins last year versus the regular season stats, they don't line up at all, or at least the win-loss ratios, they don't line up. So I wouldn't be too terribly worried about it myself. But let me know what you think. Maybe I'm being overly optimistic, but I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and for listening. Thank you for following on X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Locked On Diamondbacks. We're on YouTube as well as every other place you get your podcasts. If you want to see more of me, you can find more of my YouTube channels and projects at my website, slackshack.tv. And if you never miss an episode, remember the Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On Diamondbacks ad-free, plus the members-only Discord access and more. Head to lockedondiamondbacks.supercast.com to join the club. Thanks again, and I will see you tomorrow.